Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. Today we have great news, especially if you're an FPC member, Firearms Policy Coalition member. So today, the Ninth Circuit Court came out and said basically anyone who is enjoined or who is a member of the Firearms Policy Coalition is basically immune from the Mock v. Garland bull crap with the pistol brace stuff. Now, this has been the case. It ended Saturday, the injunction against anyone that had those. That was an FPC member. That case ended, or the injunction ended Saturday, which meant that you were possibly could be arrested if you were one of those people. Today's ruling from the Ninth Circuit basically said that's not the case. If you are one of the people that owns one of these braces that is actually a customer of one of these people that is named in the case, or you're a member of Firearms Policy Coalition, and remember a few months back, I told you to become a member of Firearms Policy Coalition, not just because of this thing with the Mock v. Garland stuff, but because they're actually the ones that are doing the work with gun owners of America and actually fighting this tyranny that they're trying to push on us. So what has happened today was that every one of us, and I'm a Firearms Policy Coalition member, but I don't own a brace anymore, we are fully immune to anyone trying to enforce this on you. Again, most of us who didn't comply, and I say us in the community who didn't comply and didn't really care because, well, this is our little stance of telling the ATF to screw off. You know, the ATF has proven time and time again that they're willing to go above and beyond and screw us in every way they possibly can. And a lot of us took this this time and place to say, no, this is going to be our stand. We're just not going to follow the rule. Well, you won. We are proving yet again that the ATF is irrelevant. The Ninth Circuit Court, which is out of Texas and has a lot of the Southwest. Unfortunately, I don't believe they have New Mexico because I think we're joined to Arizona and California and Nevada. I think that's our circuit that we're in. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We now have case law or case precedents to come up and say, no, F you. We're done with your bullcrap. We knew this before, and a lot of us have never complied anyway, and I say us in general, the 2A community, we're done. We have seen what you're willing to do. We have tried and tried and tried to comply, and you kind of went one too far. So here's where we're at. I apologize for not having a podcast for this morning, this morning. So I'm recording this the night of the 3rd, I believe is what it is. And why I didn't record one this morning is I actually got so busy and so tired and everything else with the working blue-collar job instead of a white-collar job. I didn't have the time to get it done. I was looking at what I was going to do anyway, and I'm kind of cool with letting it slide for a day, especially given that I needed that little break. And maybe I'll start doing 3 podcasts a week instead of 4 or 5. But what I think is so hilarious is that there are multiple podcasters, multiple YouTubers, gun tubers that are talking about this. Because we knew this was going to happen. And why this happened is it shows the Ninth Circuit Court has actually said we're going to win based on merit alone. So this is really, really good news for anyone who has a pistol brace because this shows that the ATF is losing. So yet again, another white pill. You know, the last podcast I talked about how people have gotten black-pilled and think our country has fallen and that there's no way that the system's going to work. This proves that it will work. We just got to give it time. And that's what sucks is if you're impatient or you have to realize that lawfare takes time. when we engage in the legal system, we have to go through multiple steps to get where we're going. Okay? Yes, this only covers Firearms Policy Coalition members and anyone that bought these specific braces that the vendor and themselves made, and they are named plaintiffs of the case. But it shows it's going to take and hold at the national level. So whether it's the Ninth Circuit, the Fifth Circuit, the Third Circuit, doesn't matter. We're going to win because we have case precedents. The guy that ruled on this today, the judge, he is the Ninth Circuit version of Judge Benitez. We are winning. There are enough legal judges that have great bearing in the Constitution and what our country is founded on that we're going to win. Whether Trump wins or anything else happens, it doesn't matter. What matters is when we get those judges in place before whoever's at the head of the head of the snake, so to speak. Them putting judges in matters. And if it's not for someone that actually reads the Constitution, they go counter to that and they have a political agenda. Those are the judges we need to keep out. So I reiterate, we are winning. It's just going to take time. It sucks because as we watch this great country of ours kind of degrade, we should know that there's enough of us on this side of the fence that aren't going to let it fully degrade. It just takes time. Unless you're willing to perpetrate violence, which I don't advocate for, we're going to have to do it through the legal means. And if you look at our founding of our country, it took 21 years before we actually overthrew the king and started the American Revolution. We're in that golden hour, that golden moment, that 20 years plus of us just trying to pound the concrete until we make the dent. And it sucks, and all of us, every one of us, myself included, are frustrated. But we're winning. So don't let anyone who has put you in that black pill space, and don't let yourself be put in that black pill space. We're winning. It's just going to take time. And when you think about the national election, the presidential election, don't worry about that. Vote accordingly. But understand that the president isn't the end-all, be-all of our country. It's all those administrative, dark state, deep state dudes that are underneath him we need to address. And the only way that happens is when we start taking those steps to look at those people. That means national elections. That means federal, state elections. That means county elections. That means city elections. That means school board elections. Get out and vote. And if you don't like what you're seeing, step up to the plate and run. Why haven't I ran? I'm going to be blunt. I shoot my mouth off too much. I have too many skeletons in my closet because of that. And therefore I wouldn't make a great candidate. But I bet you a lot of you guys that are just trying to be normal dudes and are just fed up with this crap, you absolutely could. And I absolutely think you should. Whether you run as a Republican, whether you run as a Democrat, whether you run as a Libertarian, you should stand up to the plate and just run for those elections because you're making a difference. And I saw it last weekend at the gun show when I saw these guys who aren't normally political standing up and saying, we've had enough. We've seen enough of your crap. And they weren't even talking about gun issues. They were talking about kid issues, the stuff that's going on with the trans bull crap that's happening in very blue states. I'm seeing that resistance. And despite what you see, and you see it every time when you turn on the news, when you watch TV, when you watch a movie, when you watch some series, you see this woke bullcrap agenda that's being pushed on us. That's not America. All that is noise. All that is Twitter. All that is social media bullcrap. The reality is that most Americans do not believe this. The fact that Trump is winning by double digits in national polls should give everyone on the opposite side of the fence pause. Because the guy can literally, the way it's looking, could be convicted, thrown in jail, and he could still win an election. Why? Because Americans are absolutely tired of the status quo. Trump is the avatar of the average American who is tired of the crap that we're seeing consistently. You know, Trump continues to win these debates, and he's not even showing. And how does he win? Because we're all tired of seeing the same crap. The reason why Trump was elected the first time is because he is not an insider. He is not someone that people would assume is a deep state plant. I still say the guy has a lot to learn. But can he win? It's looking like by every measure possible. Whether it's the prediction model, this is the wisdom of the crowd, where you look at who's betting on what to see who's going to win the next election. Whether it's that, or you're looking at the polls that pollsters use to figure out what the pulse of the country is. People are not happy right now. We are winning. We have finally reached that point. Now, things to be worried about with that. There's something called an Overton window. And it swings to the left, it swings to the right. And right now, the Overton window is swung really far left. We need to be careful that as it swings to the right, that we kind of keep it in check so that your absolute rights and your freedoms are kept there. Because if it swings too far to the right, you're going to end up with authoritarianism, just like you would as it's been swinging to the left. All those weirdos that want to like trans kids and want to do all the other bull crap that we know is not American, that's not how we are, that's not what we do, we got to counter that. We need to make sure we don't go so far into the right spectrum that we end up, oppressing the same freedoms for other reasons. So that's what I leave you with tonight. We're winning. Keep winning. Like, share, subscribe. Be great.